Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from The Hill, the supposedly, mainstream conservative news outlet. It was written by Brent Badowski, who's an opinion contributor. It was published on the 9th. And this just goes to show the delusional state of the never-Trumpers on the right and the Democrats in general. I mean, Brent Badowski is basically, because I had read this earlier, a Democrat. And The Hill is trying to push this narrative, and the only person they could find was a Democrat to do it. A Sanders-Warren ticket could win big in 2020. In what parallel, alternate universe? Because, I don't see that happening. Unless, the shit really hits the fan. And I don't see that happening either. I mean, this is so funny that they're literally trying to push this democratic delusion here. That Warren and Sanders could win big in 2020. That any Democrat could win big in 2020. Or 2018 here, with our midterm elections. It's hilarious. On March 19th, Senator Bernie Sanders, Independent Vermont, will host a town meeting about income inequality that will feature Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat Mass, film producer and director Michael Moore, and the New School economics professor Derek Hamilton. Now, here's the thing. You literally have three of the biggest jokes of the Democrat side of things, the left, having a town hall meeting about income inequality. When we now know, and this is one reason why Bernie is such the joke that he is, we now know that he wants to tax everyone, poor, all the way up to the rich, and then dole the money back out to you. He wants it to be like he's the parent, like when back in the day, like with my mother's generation. The parents would take the kids' paychecks and then they would dole out money from that paycheck as like an allowance. That's what he wants. He wants to be in control. This isn't about helping, those less fortunate. This is about, well, let me control the purse strings. That's what this is about. I mean, Michael Moore, just the shit comes out of his mouth make him a joke. Elizabeth Warren, I don't know. Could it be the fact that she lied about having, American Indian heritage? And I will not use that Native American thing because they weren't even Native. Or I should say my ancestors weren't even Native. I'm part American Indian, They came across the land bridge. They are not Native Americans. No one was a native to this part of the world. Yet, we got to call my ancestors and these people now Native Americans. No, you are American Indians. Deal with it. The name stuck. Now you want to change it? No. I've accepted the American Indian thing. I got no problem with it. You shouldn't have one either. But yeah, Pocahontas Warren. Sorry on that tangent there. But yeah, Pocahontas Warren. Here. What do they think? This is going to be a good thing? I mean, this woman will not take a DNA test to prove whether or not she's a liar and keeps avoiding the whole subject of this whole thing of misrepresenting her heritage, to, I don't know, curry some favor with trying to get a job at Harvard. I mean, come on now. This is a joke. This is not a good thing. Yeah, you're trying to make it sound like it's going to win you big in 2020 if it were to happen. And I'm just saying that with your town meeting. The presidential campaign, oh God, it'd be one running joke after the other with those two. This subject is one of the most important issues facing all Americans in their daily lives. It strikes at the heart of the matter of jobs, wages, economic opportunity, and the core fairness of the American economy. So we're talking about this situation here, and you want to use them as like the shining light of what's a good thing. Because here's the thing. You know what? Income inequality is not the subject most important facing all Americans in their daily lives, The fact of paying the bills is the most important thing. Having a job, possibly, getting more money an hour. without the state dictating that the employer must pay for it, because, must raise their minimum wage. Because the thing is when that happens, it causes rampant inflation, which, if you look, you're trying to push this stuff here. And just by what Trump has done to this point, wages have gone up, people are getting bonuses, unemployment's at an all-time low for black people. Unemployment is down. I don't want to say an all-time low all around. I'm not, off the top of my head, I can't, remember if it is exactly at this point, because, it does change month to month on the note of the job numbers. But, yeah, so, we have a situation here where all these things that you're talking about are being taken care of. And they're not part of the whole income inequality thing. And this core fairness, the American economy is fair. At least when you get rid of the neocon, Democrat, rigging of the system for, companies to be able to stop competitors from coming in. Get rid of that, and it is fair. So if you want to talk about fair, get rid of all the corporate BS that you guys are behind, and we got no problem. Because anyone can come to this country or be born in this country and, come to this country legally. Because it's not a right, it's a privilege. But either come here or be born here. And based on their drive, their intelligence, their capabilities, so on and so forth, they can become a success. They can make themselves, wealthy. They can do whatever they set their mind to. So there is no issue with fairness. In my column this week in The Hill, I urge Democrats to focus intensely on uniting the party and winning control of the House and Senate in November, in the most important midterm elections in the the most important midterms in the century. Oh, really? You don't think the elections leading up to World War II, when it was isolationist, weren't more important? You don't think the elections, with the fact of Korea and Vietnam and leading up to those wars, you don't think those were more important? Wow. When there's actual global issues going on and deciding whether or not we're going to be into a war, I don't know, maybe the fact of, let's see, the elections around the time of, say, the civil rights movement, those I think would be more important, because if Democrats got in, most of the Democrats were against the civil rights movement. It was more Republicans that signed it than Democrats did, even though it was pushed, by LBJ following through on JFK to get, as he said, to get the enters. He's going to get those enters to vote Democrat and keep on voting Democrat. I'm paraphrasing, but he said basically that. So, I think what we have is a situation here of you're blowing shit out of proportion and you're in friggin' la-la land. Let's consider the Democratic options for the presidential ticket in the 2020 elections, with emphasis on the possibility of a Democratic ticket in 2020 of Sanders for president and Warren for vice president. Now, what's up with that? Why not put Pocahontas Warren, as the president, if you really want to push this, and go, let Warren break the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling. Oh, wait, that's right. That whole glass ceiling identity politics shit failed for you. So, yeah, let's scratch that one. This is friggin' hilarious. Let's consider 3 hypothetical Democratic tickets in 2020, which provide alternate models for how Democrats could regain the presidency and govern alongside a Democratic House and Senate after the presidential election. Are you serious? Badowski, whatever the hell your name is. Oh my God, dude. I seriously think that you should check yourself into one of those, how should I put this nicely? Hotels with padded rooms and, courtesy jackets that have the arms tying around behind your back? Because you're fucking mental. You're not going to get, in the midterms, you're not going to get control of the any bit of the House or Senate. Not going to happen. You might keep seats, but odds are you're going to lose even more seats than you did with the 2016 election. Then in 2020, Trump has pretty much got it locked up already, especially with the things going on now. I mean, he has literally got a little tin pot dictator psychopath going, whoa, let's talk, whoa, I'm scared of you. And because he's done that with fucking Rocket Man Kim Jong-un, people are actually starting to see that he's getting shit done on a global level, besides domestically here, okay? His tariffs are popular with the people. They're not popular with the Democrats. They're not, because you're in bed with the globalist, the globalist, financial and banker elites. Well, can't say any different about the neocons, but yeah. So, I mean, if you honestly think you have a chance in 2020, run this ticket. It will be the running joke of the internet. It will be like a 24/7 meme fest. Okay, with Warren and Sanders. I kid you, it was a 24-hour meme fest with Hillary. And Sanders and Warren are even bigger jokes than they are. Than she is, I should say. This will be hilarious. And I'm not, and that's like on the joke meme, not the criminality memes. Okay, Hillary's definitely got both of them beat there. Democrats are blessed with a large number of excellent potential candidates in 2020. I'm sorry, I can't read that without laughing. Democrats are blessed with a large number of excellent potential candidates in 2020 and should consider and confront the mythology spread by Republicans and some insider Democrats that the most progressive Democrat candidates are not the most electable Democrat candidates. Badowski, you're a fucking moron. Dude, you are literally a fucking delusional moron. If you honestly believe this shit, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to sell you. I've got a piece of Old Man on the Mountain I'd like to sell you. I've got the nose of the Old Man on the Mountain I'm willing to sell you. Hell, you name the most fucked up fallacy of a business deal, and I'll offer it to this guy, and I bet he'd probably take it with this delusional shit. I mean, this is hilarious. Because it is a fact that they are not the most electable candidates. Because if they're that far left, okay, they're not going to attract the people in the Midwest. They're not, the Rust Belt. They're not going to attract people, okay, in other parts of the country, like, say, Wyoming and Kentucky and Texas. They're not going to do it. And you need to get enough people to do that, to win. Because they're not going to draw out, okay, people to vote for them. It's going to be like Hillary, where people are just going to be like, fuck that. You don't realize that, though. Oh, God. Badowski, you're a moron. The first model for a Democrat ticket in 2020 would be led by Sanders and Warren. This would be the progressive populist ticket offering the most bold and sweeping agenda. The most cultural, Marxist, socialist, fuck over the American people agenda would be more accurate. Because they want to tax the shit out of the poor through the rich and then hand the money back out. They've made this clear. Holy crap. And you're, this is a good thing. No, it's not. That's not bold or sweeping. That is reminiscent of, I don't know. Let's see, where it's cultural Marxism. We'll say socialism. I mean, take your pick. Because that's the same type of mentality that led to the Soviet Union with the Russian communists, Marxists. It led to, which the funny thing is the Democrats like to call anyone right of Karl Marx fascist. And fascism is a left ideology. Okay, it's just Mussolini, who was a student of Marx. This is a documented fact of history. He just felt that Marx had that thing wrong about the business aspect, and that the government and business should be in bed together. And the funny thing is that's literally the Democrats today. So they're literally the fucking fascists, okay? But that's like that, or, I don't know, let's just say Nazism, because again, socialism, ideology of the left, there was progressive, all the progressive Democrats, okay, from that era, loved Hitler. They were like sucking his dick until he kicked the global bankers out. That's a matter of historical fact, okay? FDR, the Democrats' fucking go-to boy, because of the Conservation Corps and all the other programs that he enacted during the Great Depression, which actually extended the Great Depression. Okay, that's another guy. Like, when it comes to those progressive Democrats, they sucked Hitler's dick, like I said. Okay, hell, Margaret fucking Sanger, one of the biggest fucking progressives of that era, helped him set up his eugenics program, a documented historical fucking fact. And this woman is held by the progressives today as some fucking goddess of progressivism, okay? And she was a fucking eugenicist who specifically said that she was setting up the idea of Planned Parenthood, okay, to stop inferiors from breeding and having children. But yet it's a good organization. I mean, this is literally, it's a continuation of this shit. Okay? And you think that that's good for the country, because literally the progressive agenda is what that will end up being. That's a matter of historical fact. Unless you kick out the global bankers and then all of a sudden, it's a bad thing. But yeah, you're trying to make it sound like, the progressivism is good. Progressivism is literally what led to all the shit that the left tries to pin on the right here. Except for communism, because, communism's good, but yet it killed way more people. I mean, you people are pathetic to actually believe the shit that you do. The second model for a Democratic ticket would be led by former Vice President, creepy Uncle Joe Biden. I'm sorry, I had to add the creepy Uncle Joe. Running with vice presidential nominee such as Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat, Minnesota, on a ticket that combines vast presidential caliber experience and a widely respected younger generation progressive leader. So creepy Uncle Joe with some chick that is going to feel all sketched out with creepy Uncle Joe. Oh yeah, that's a real good fucking second choice there, Badowski. Dude, what the fuck did you take before writing this? Because I have never seen weed that would make you hell, delusional, period. But you got to be on some serious fucking drugs if you honestly believe that creepy Uncle Joe is a good thing. The Democrats before this point were like, whoa, creepy Uncle Joe, we got to get him out of the spotlight. Look at him. He's getting really creepy with these young girls, and women, and they're going, we need to just kind of sweep him aside here. And you're now saying running him as vice president would be good? Dream on. And all of this, the younger generation progressive leader. What you don't understand on that note is the next generation, past millennials, Gen Z, because, millennials couldn't handle being called Gen Y. Yeah, they're way more conservative than a lot of previous generations. And by 2020, a few of them are going to be voting. And I highly fucking doubt they're going to be voting for that progressive fucking shit that you like. So your first two, okay, we got an old broad and an old dude, that progressive ticket. They ain't going to vote for the old broad and the old dude. They ain't going to vote for creepy, child molesting Uncle Joe and his progressive fucking token woman candidate. So there's your problem with your second model. Jesus, you are seriously delusional, dude. The third model for a Democratic ticket would be led by Representative Joe the Drooler Kennedy III, Democrat Mass. Hey, the drooler, I added, obviously. A rising star of House Democrats, running with a vice presidential nominee such as California Attorney General Xavier Becerra, who formerly served as chairman of the House Democratic Caucus in Congress, or Senator Kamala Harris, Democrat, California. Oh my God! This will not fucking fly. This third one, you think Kennedy? You think the name Kennedy has political fucking capital to it these days? Not when you got this fucking former, this is literally he is literally like the bad sperm. Fucking came out of fucking Grandpa Joe's dick, and it just caused a fucking degeneration in the gene pool of the Kennedys. Okay? The only Kennedy that you would have had a hope and prayer with at any time, okay, on that name Kennedy, on the note of political capital, would be John Jr. And that's because John Jr. was a decent human being. That's because John Jr. was well liked. That's because John Jr. wasn't a drooling identity politics loving fucking cultural Marxist piece of shit like his fucking cousin. Okay? John Jr., was a legit person. John Jr., was going to run for politics. Okay? John Jr. scared the establishment because John Jr. wanted to find out what the hell happened with his father. That was his mission in life. Well, part of his, a mission of his life was to find out who killed his father, who murdered his father. Okay? And right at the time that he was collecting information on that note with his magazine that he had, George, when he was running that, and he was looking at running for political office. Conveniently, his plane crashes. Yeah. Okay. I mean, living in New England, when that happened, shit stank. We all knew the shit stank. Especially when, you're looking at what is coming out right when it happened. And then you hear a totally different fucking story from the national side of things. That was the only Kennedy. And you know what? The deep state, from looking at what happened back then, the deep state offed him. Because he was a thorn in the side of them with the fact of his father and the fact that if he could politically succeed and he wasn't going to be one of you fucking line-toting shitbags that sucks dicks of globalists. And thinks that globalism and all this fucking open border shit is good. Okay, speaking of which, the Attorney General Xavier Becerra is not a good choice on that note of the whole open border shit. Okay? He is looked at outside of California, he is looked at, unless you are a flaming fucking leftist liberal, as the shitbag who doesn't want to enforce U.S. immigration law. Okay? Kamala Harris, she wants open borders, all that other shit. There was no way those two would be remotely fucking electable. Okay, even in the role of vice president, if the name Kennedy was worth, I don't know, the value of their fucking compound in Martha's Vineyard, times 100, times 1,000, they still would be unelectable. You are so delusional here, Badowski. It's not even funny. This ticket would offer a bold and daring move for dramatic and political generational change. No, It would show the people how fucking delusional the Democrats are, and they would probably lose even worse than Hitler, than they did with the fact of the loss of seats and everything else in the 2016 election. It would make them, it would literally go, okay, if the Democrats are pushing this shit, I'm going to vote a Republican in on the note of Congress. That's what people would literally start thinking. Because they're going to be like, I don't want this asshole pushing this shit in Washington on the note of being in Congress. Oh my God, you are so freaking delusional. It's not even funny. Behind the scenes of the National Democratic Party, it is commonly accepted wisdom, though not proven by facts, that the most progressive candidates are not the most electable candidates. That's a fact. It is proven by facts, because every time a progressive is fucking run, since, say, FDR, because people lived through FDR. The only people who loved FDR were die-in-the-wool Democrats who just voted Democrat. And they went, oh yeah, he was a great president. And they don't look at the actual facts of that. Progressives haven't been elected in a long fucking time for good reason. In some states and districts, this might be true. No, try it through the whole fucking nation, especially on a national level election, say president. Progressives are not going to fucking win. But in terms of winning the national popular vote and an electoral vote majority, there is credible case that the most clearly progressive and politically aggressive Democrats can indeed win and potentially win big. Dream on! The most important and powerfully persuasive data in modern American politics is that virtually every poll in 2016 showed Sanders defeating Donald Trump by 10% or more. You mean the same polls that said Hillary had it in the bag and that Trump had like an even a less than 10% chance of winning against her? Holy shit, dude! You're gonna pull the polls out of your ass right now? There were polls saying that Trump had a 9% chance of winning against Hillary. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit! And those same pollers said that Bernie would smack Hillary around like she was his bitch. Oh God. In the Real Clear Politics summary of 2016 polling, Sanders ran ahead of Trump by an average margin of more than 10% and often by much larger margins. Yeah. Polls are just statistics. You can take statistics and shape them to get any fucking result you want. Hence why Hillary was clearly supposed to win the election according to those polls. Whether one supports Sanders or any other political potential candidate in 2020, the case is clear that a strong progressive program and message would give Democrats a decided advantage in any campaign against the scandal-ridden and crony capitalist-dominated presidency of Trump and his GOP allies in Congress. Excuse me? No. The Democrats are the ones starting to see investigations now into their crony fucking shit. Okay, with like Uranium One, all the mismanagement with Haiti and the Clinton Foundation is being looked into now again, and actually looked into this time. So, I mean, I think you're projecting just a little bit here. And the thing is, what scandal-ridden situation are we talking about here? There hasn't been shit for scandals, okay? I love this. Well, scandal-ridden. What scandals? Please elaborate. Please elaborate, because there isn't shit for scandals when it comes to Trump. Now, if we're talking Obama's administration, Hillary's, time there as Secretary of State, her husband's administration, yeah, we got a lot of scandal. I love this. The town meeting that will bring national attention to Sanders, Warren, and more will dramatize why most voters will economically and financially benefit by a program that maximizes income inequality, economic justice, and fairness and economic opportunity for poor and middle-income voters in red and blue states alike. The whole reason why the ever-shrinking middle class is ever-shrinking is because of Democratic policies like Obamacare that caused their insurance to get so inflated that it helped to drain them. Okay, it was those Democrat policies, okay, being in bed with Wall Street that allowed for their savings to be raped, to allow for their savings to be pillaged from them. So, yeah, keep on talking out your fucking ass here. I mean, this is so friggin' hilarious. Dude, you are delusional. Oh, God. While I could support Sanders, Warren, or any of the progressive Democratic change candidates who could run on the ticket in 2020, it is important to disabuse the false notion, which is contrary to the facts demonstrated by national polling throughout 2016 and beyond, that progressive candidates are less electable. Well, also, even if we take into account those polls supposedly being accurate, which I highly friggin' doubt, okay, even if you take that into account, that was before people actually heard the shit that Bernie wants come out, what he actually wants, come out of his fucking mouth. Because since those CNN things going, town halls, whatever you want to call them, where he went up against Ted Cruz, there's like 2 of them. In both of them, he's literally looked like a babbling, delusional, psychotic fucking lunatic who wants to take your fucking money and then decide whether or not you should get some of it back. He wants to take your money and control you. People saw that and went, whoa, wait a minute. And he admitted that he wants to tax even the poor. He wants to tax everyone, take their money, and then give it back to them instead of letting them keep it, because he thinks he knows best on where that money should go. That's not going to help you get elected now that people know that's what this fucking, Alzheimer's patient of a fucking mental case, Bernie, actually believes. And if you think that that's going to get fucking elected, you seriously need to check into, like I said, one of those hotels with padded fucking walls in the room and jackets that fucking, secure around your arms around your back, from behind. Seriously, you are fucking delusional. I love how you're using polls, which are based on opinion, as fact. And you're not looking at the fact that the polls were all wrong in 2016. Because then you're full of shit here. Americans want a clear message of progressive change and would enthusiastically support a Sanders-Warren ticket or any other ticket running on a similar program in 2020. Really? Then why the fuck, when Hillary was doing nothing but pushing that progressive identity politics bullshit, why the hell did she lose and Trump become president? And that was even with rampant voter and election fraud, trying to get her into office. Or did you forget that there were more votes cast in Detroit than there are registered voters? Did you forget about the voter irregularities in California and Colorado and New Hampshire and Massachusetts? Well, Massachusetts was never officially declared, but New Hampshire, all of the ones that I named besides Massachusetts, all publicly known to have irregularities with the voting. And you fucking think that they could win? And you think that the American people would support that shit? Wow, dude, you are fucked in the head. Whoever the Democratic nominee in 2020 is, he or she should, and almost certainly will, run a visionary and aggressive campaign that promises to bring the next great era of progressive leadership to America and could well realign American politics for a generation after the post-Trump era. Okay. We already had the progressive identity politics shit with Obama. That led to Trump. Look what happened after FDR. Just look what happened. The progressive era back then, people went, oh, fuck me, and they went and voted the other way. It's going to happen here too. See, I have facts on my side. I have history on my side. You're talking out of your ass, Brent. Okay? Brent Badowski. But what would I expect to who's an aide to former Senator Lloyd Benston? You know, a Democrat from Texas, and then former Rep. Bill Alexander, a Democrat from Arkansas. I mean, what would I expect from a fucking flaming moronic Democrat who's got his head up his ass? I mean, because you have that being the case, your brain is starving for oxygen, which would explain this delusional shit. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough, and I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.